Many Jamaicans who are abroad often give for their primary reason of not returning to Jamaica crime, and followed swiftly by healthcare. And in this video, we want to stop to take note of some of the claims that are held about Jamaica and its crime, and explore whether or not Jamaica is indeed winning the war on crime.
The Jam Fam family. Jam Fam, come hang with me. Yeah.
Hello, Wagwan, big up yourself, whether you're there yard or you're there abroad. Welcome back to another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. Now, in today's video, we're going to be looking at crime in a way that we haven't before on this channel explored. We're often told on the channel that we shouldn't compare the crime in Jamaica as we would the crime in the United States, given that it's a significantly larger country in terms of landmass as well as population. Nevertheless, comparison helps us to put things into perspective. And though the crime in Jamaica is still not at the point where we would want to see it, it's nevertheless an important exercise to get some context, especially for people who have been living outside of Jamaica for a significant period of time and do not quite understand how Jamaica is operating currently, and the experiences of individuals who are residing here on the island, where it comes on to feeling safe or being exposed to or experiencing crime in any way, shape, or form. To make this comparison relevant, what we're going to be doing instead is we are going to be looking at the length that Jamaica has been going and the measures that they're implementing to ensure that their citizens are feeling safer in their environment, as well as some of the results that these measures have caused. Equally, we're going to be looking at some areas in the United Kingdom that are frequented by people of Jamaican descent. We're also going to be looking at a few places in the United States of America that are frequented by Jamaicans, and also in Canada. Now, when we look at these and look at the level of crime in those areas, and then look at the level of crime and how Jamaica is working to reduce it, just to give people an understanding if they're going to be less safe in Jamaica than they would be in these environments that they currently live in. Now, we're going to be saying this disclaimer here. We're not saying that these are the areas in which Jamaicans are all living. What we're saying is that these are places that have a high population of Jamaicans from various social stratas, and therefore it's important that we look at those environments in which Jamaicans are either residing or working and seeing how it compares to the experience of Jamaicans who are living and residing on the island. We're also very conscious that the population in these areas might be more significant than the population in Jamaica, as well as the fact that those areas are a lot more diverse than Jamaica. And as such, we're using the statistics that we've been provided with per thousand in the population, or in terms of percentage increase or decrease based on how the information have been available. Now, all of the information that we're going to share with you are information that we have sourced from reputable sources in each of these countries, and we will tell you the source for these information as we are sharing the information with you. Now, firstly, we're going to look at the United Kingdom, and we're going to focus on London. Although we know that there is a large population of Jamaicans in places like Birmingham and Manchester and other cities in the UK, we're going to focus on London, and we're going to look at two of the London boroughs. First one being Lambeth, which is where Brixton is based, and the second one being Brent, which is where Harlesden is based. And these are common names that many Jamaicans would be familiar with. Now, the annual total crime rate in Lambeth is 108 per thousand in the population, which can be rated as 5 out of 10 in the ranking that they use in the United Kingdom, or is considered to be medium crime level compared to other local authorities and districts in England and Wales. Now, bear in mind that this is Lambeth as a whole. Now, the annual total crime rate represented in Brixton itself specifically, so not Lambeth as a whole, but now in Brixton, is 1,116 per thousand in the population. This is a rate which gives them a 9 out of 10. So in Lambeth in general, it is 5 out of 10. In Brixton, it becomes 9 out of 10. And it's considered to be a high level crime zone when compared to other local areas and when compared nationally, especially and in particularly nationally in terms of England and Wales. In terms of violence and sexual crimes, there was 241 per thousand in 2024. And in terms of property crime and theft, there was 496.1 per thousand. Drugs and any form of antisocial crimes were 368.5 per thousand. We also have things like weapon possessions and other crime, which came up to 10.62 per thousand. Now, the data we have for Brent was one from 2023, and it says that in Brent, the crime rate was 114 per 1,000, and this is taking it in consideration in totality. And this was 9% higher than the London average and 31% higher than the national average in the UK. Now, we're going to look at some specific areas and see what theirs were. So Harlesden and Kensal Green is 115. Wembley Hill is 126. Kilburn is 132. And Wembley Park is 214. So Wembley Park is 214. And all of these are per thousand. The respective sources in the UK for the data that we've just shared with you are Crystal Roof, Varbes, Fahrenheit Security, and of course the two respective London Borough Council website with their statistics. When we move over to Canada, we're going to be looking at the province of Ontario, simply because a significant Jamaican population exists there. In Canada, violent crime rates are about 14% higher than the rates in the US as of 2022. And property crime rates are about 27.5% higher, and both of these continue to increase. As of early 2024, Toronto Police Services have reported the following changes in their offenses. And although theft over $5,000, auto theft, and breaking and entering have seen decreases, other areas have seen increases, where assault increased by 5.7%, robbery went up by 5.7%, sexual violations went up by 13.1%, and homicides are up by 36%. Now, these information were garnered from reputable sources within Canada. These sources include Vilkhov Law, Fraser Institute News, or Global News Wire. In the US, Jamaicans tend to live in places like Fort Lauderdale, Queens, Bronx, Brooklyn, and we're going to examine some of the statistics for those specific areas now. So, for example, in Fort Lauderdale have a higher property crime rate than the national average, with theft and burglary being particularly common. The city also have a high number of violent crimes, including assault. And just to look at some of the statistics in this area, property crime rate is 177.6 incidents per thousand individuals or residents. Theft crime rate is 30.82 incidents per thousand residents. Burglary crime rate is 5.83 incidents per 1,000 population. Motor vehicle theft crime rate is 4.92 incidents per thousand in the population. Now let's look at Queens. So the overall crime rate in Queens, New York, is about 32.67 per thousand in the population. However, crime rate varies significantly by area, with some areas being much safer than others. If we think about Northwest Queens, the chance of being a victim of crime in this area is as high as 1 in every 20. On the east side of Queens, however, the chance of being a victim of crime in this area has moved to 1 in 72. As of April 2024, the Bronx crime rate per 1,000 resident was 95. This breaks down as follows. Assault is 4.7, robbery is 1.5, rape Another sexual assault was 0.5, and homicide was 0.04. From October 27, 2023 to October 27, 2024, the number of major crimes in the Bronx increased by 4.06%. So as before, when the statistics was given was of April of 2024, and there has been an increase of 4.06% over that duration of time. When we examine Brooklyn, Brooklyn has a neighborhood that is called Brownsville, and in this neighborhood the crime rate is rather high, including violent crimes which have a rate of 12.64 per thousand in the population, with assault and robbery higher than the national average. The property crime rate in this area of Brooklyn is 16.9 per thousand. Brownsville was previously known as the homicide capital of New York, and although the statistics there is as high as these, there are other parts of Brooklyn that are much safer neighborhoods in comparison. The sources used for these information are U-Homes, Neighborhood Scouts, and Freedom for All Americans. Now, with this information taken in context, we're going to be looking briefly at Jamaica. So in Jamaica, there has been a significant amount of work being done to reduce the level of crime across the country and to make it much safer for individuals. Some of these strategies have been where they lock down neighborhoods or put them on curfew and trying their best to see how they can eliminate the sources of unrest in neighborhoods and communities. Now, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, has articulated that they have worked assiduously at reducing the amount of crime and violence that are being experienced by Jamaicans, and that their efforts are ongoing, and they are aiming to continue to reduce violence and enhance public safety as they continue through the years to come. These efforts include the fact that they've implemented strategic measures, they are conducting intelligence-led operations, and they are increasing the recovery of illegal firearms that are present in our environment. Major crimes in Jamaica has been noted and published to have decreased by 15% in 2024 when compared to the periods previously, and this is generally. Now, when we break them down specifically, this is what they look like. So these decrease includes for homicide is down by 19%, shootings are also down by 9%, sexual assaults are down by 28%, robberies are down by 21%, break-ins are also down by 17%. Firearm seizures have improved, and that has gone up by 7%, which means that they are seizing more firearms than they have in the past. Ammunition seizure went up as well by 41%. Arrests and charges for major crimes went up by 9%. All in all, this has also reflected in a homicide rate reduction nationally, and this has now become 0.371 per 1,000 in the population. The sources for this information is the Jamaica Gleaner and the Jamaica Constabulary Force together. Hopefully this breakdown and comparison has been beneficial in supporting people in the diaspora to see the comparison between the level of safety they can experience in Jamaica in comparison to the level of safety in the areas within which they currently live in Canada, the United Kingdom, and the USA, and have a bit more confidence in their choice should they decide to move back to Jamaica, to feel that they will indeed be safe. We're out and about and on our way to church this fine morning, and look who I have with me here. How is it?
It's very sunny today, but the sun just went.
Okay, so it's gone overcast a little bit, but that's okay. So, are you looking forward to church today?
I'm not sure.
What bit of church are you most excited about?
The song service.
Ah, that's the bit I like too. So, we're making every effort to ensure that we get there and get there on time. So, let's get our walking gear in. And before we go, I just want to show you this house. Every time I pass it, I keep looking up at it, and it's so lovely. Hopefully you can see that house up there on the hill. It's a gorgeous house, and there's another one just behind the post and the mango tree over here. But that one up there just sits up on the hill looking so lovely, like it can overlook the whole of that section of the city. Such a beautiful view from down here as well. So we are sitting in the park on our way before we head home, and we have this lovely sun coming in on us, and we just thought we would check in and let you see how we're spending this afternoon. Nice and relaxing. Have you been having a relaxing time in the park?
It's alright.
It's okay. It's lovely being able to just come every so often to the park and relax. So we're just going to show you the part that we're in, and we wanted to show you the park as well. And they still haven't taken down the tree yet, and that's what it looks like. I always like to come in and just watch the fountain and listen to it, and how soothing it is amidst all the other noise that's happening in the city center. What's your favorite thing about the park nearest to you, or the park in your city center that you go to? We thank you for staying with us here on this another episode of Life with the Jam Fams, where we needed to look at a rather imperative point of conversation, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now and take care.